How's it going? Yeah, I was waiting for you to um, like message me on Discord, but what was the problem? Couldn't you find me, or what happened? Okay. I forgot email. What do you mean? You mean when you try to create an account? Ah, not interested. I am. But usually, most of the people, I mean, I don't want to like force you to do anything that you don't want. I mean, it's okay. But many people, they have a Discord channel, for example, streamers and stuff, and you can, for example, message them or find these communities. In general, it's kind of like a good way to connect to people that you don't want to give away, maybe your email address, your phone number, or anything. Okay, so just yeah, just a quick recap. Basically, what I did in the past week was removing another part of n8n. Let me show you. My PC is really slow. Okay, so the main block generation pipeline was basically based on this framework here, this workflow here, but then since we want to make a service out of it, I have to create, like, do the same workflow but in a more robust and scalable way. So I am basically implementing the workflow using Python, so that I can fully replace n8n, and all of the things can just run smoothly using Python. The problem is that with n8n, there's so much resource. Like, it basically needs so much resource, like CPU and memory, when it wants to run a workflow. And since my VPS is a really cheap one, like $2, I need to replace many parts of, basically replace n8n and just remove it. So so this was the previous workflow, and this is what I've done now. As you can see, this part, basically this section almost was basically replaced by Python, and I removed all of this and I added this webhook. Basically, a webhook is like an endpoint or like a like an endpoint that when you send a request to, something happens. So when I, for example, execute this workflow, it says waiting for you to call the test URL. Basically, this is the endpoint that is waiting something to happen. Basically, just listening, waiting, doing nothing until someone sends a request. And then, for example, it just goes forward and just publishes the blog post. And this is the thing that I've done in the past week. I basically removed this log generation sub workflow, and this is also this sub workflow is basically this one here, which, as you can see, there's also many parts into it. So again, things would get really heavy and really messy. So I just remove this in this new workflow, and now I can like send my requests to this endpoint, and then this would publish it. Now, at the moment, I know there's still this part of it left that is handled by n8n, but compared to last time, it was like the previous workflow was really super crowded. So now I think even though the half of the n8n workflow is still there, it's like half of the problem, I would say. Okay, so yeah, then see you next week, Jay. Take care. Okay, and yeah, so that's the idea at the moment. We kind of eliminated half of the n8n workflow, and I now want to implement it into my, like sending the blog post. I want to implement it in my Python code, because at the moment, maybe show you. So at the moment, the way that I'm doing it, by copy pasting the generated blog, and then just put it into the Postman, and then send it to this webhook for this workflow. And basically, I want to remove this manual step and just directly after the content generation, like the blog generation, I just want to send it to this endpoint automatically, so I don't have to copy paste it into this Postman. So that's what we are doing today. So before that, okay. Thinking how to handle it. Okay, so I'm thinking, so usually I start the blog generation pipeline with these keyword arguments. Basically, these are the settings in my endpoints. And for example, if I want to say, hey, this is a user that wants to get blogged on for that specific topic, then this configuration would be passed to these keyword arguments. This is like basically like settings. You can kind of think of it that based on these settings, it would generate the blog post. And for example, part of the setting is also this business description, that for every business or every user this would vary, like be different. And now I want to kind of unify these things into one object, like settings object or something, because this, if you think about it, this endpoint, this webhook that we are having here, for example, it says this is the URL that whenever you pass something to me, then this workflow in NHN would run, and it would basically publish the blog post. And also, for example, having this agent, it would just put some Twitter threads. Yeah, I can also show you that. Yeah, so we're also publishing these threads based on the generated blogs, and it's also being done here using this AI agent for Twitter posting, and also we also share it on Telegram, which also done with this agent. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna make first we're gonna make a settings object that basically all the configuration for block generation would be integrated, like put into that settings. And then automatically we also pull out the webhook that we should send the block to. So we automatically would, after the generation, we would just send it to this webhook, and then the rest of the init end would just handle the publishing stuff. Also, if you're interested, this is the website, basically the landing page that you're having. Yeah, so also you can check it out, and you can also read what's the product about, what's the service about, and also if you have any like feedbacks or anything, I would highly appreciate it. Also, I'm saying to people here, no pressure, but I'm interested knowing like what are you working on, what's your let's say background, like what are you working on in general, any projects, anything that you've been working on or just interested about recently. Let me know. I think one part that for me is a bit confusing or like still not really figured it out is how tech savvy are my audience. So I'm not really sure if I explain things into too much details or is it like not enough details. So in general, if you type something about yourself, that would be really nice. It will definitely give me feedback what type of audience I'm talking to, or like what are you guys into. So for anyone who just joined the stream, welcome, and you can check out the landing page that I've sent it into the chat. This is the product or the platform that you are trying to build, and also for I will stream weekly and also have some videos coming up for you. So if you're interested in building your own business or like the topics, DevOps, these sort of things, hit the subscribe, and I hope to see you again. But today, as I discussed earlier, we are trying to make things a bit cleaner. We are trying to get rid of N8N because it's really heavy when it runs on my $2 server. Sometimes it's been already maybe 3 or 4 times that the server just crashes. So I really want to get rid of N8N and try to make things scalable in a sense. So at the moment, I'm trying to create a config that this is like a sample config that one business, or like one user would pass into our content generation pipeline. And basically this config is like it has everything, any specific audience, any API settings, basically just the settings for creating the blog. Okay, and for the I hope it's visible. Yeah, for the webhook URL, I take the webhook. I take the webhook from here. So whenever our pipeline finishes, we send a request to this webhook, and then with the content of the blog that just been generated, and then basically the webhook would just handle the publishing. Title key would be basically title key would be, for example, here when I want to send the request to the webhook, I have to say title colon and then, for example, the title of the blog post, and then the title key specifies what should I type here. For example, if I say if I change this to blog title, for example, if my endpoint accepts these sort of requests, then I have to come here and say the title key would be blog title, so that when I want to send a request, I put the title as a value to the key of blog title. Okay, and title, and then what else? Description. And then the content. You could also say markdown. Content key would be content. And what else? Is content and targeted keywords. Yeah, and some word counts. Okay, so the word count key takeaways, also the HTML as well. in the headers, and then so what I'm trying to do is basically create one sample config that then would be my plugs would be generated based on this, and also it would be shared based on this config. So also another thing that I've been thinking about to change is the whole code is just really bloated and feels like just some scripts, Python scripts there. So I also have to try to figure out maybe a design pattern or something, and maybe that also helps to like get a better get a better feeling of the code. Now it's like really random. Did you already finish your project, or what happened? Okay. I mean, ideas could be from your own like daily problems. For example, if you write down your ideas and you don't find them later, then you can make a website of like organizing your daily ideas. Or for example, if you like forget appointments, you can write a website that basically keeps track of your appointments and then lets you know, or maybe even send you an email or something. But I know what you mean. I also like when I also was learning web development and stuff, I was also really trying to figure out some ideas, but I didn't have any. So maybe if you look at your like the current stuff that you do and you want to like improve your current I mean the things that you do daily, you can also try to focus on that, get some ideas there maybe. Okay. Actually, let me try to try to make the code a bit clean. Let's see if I can. Or the AI. I mean, I'm not really an expert on these design patterns or so, but okay, chain of responsibility. Yeah, there's this design pattern called chain of responsibility. I mean, I remembered it as chain of command, but okay. Chain of responsibility. Command object and scissor processing object. Each processing object contains logic, defines the types of command objects that it can handle. Types of command that it can handle, and then the rest passes to the next processing object in the chain. Adding a new processing object to the end of the chain. Okay. I think basically what would make sense is basically I want to re-implement this n8n workflow that I have. And I think I have to select the design pattern that is kind of really easy to implement like this, with these nodes and then individual these functionalities. So every node has a specific functionality, and then it has some input, it has some outputs. And then of course, if you have any suggestions for the design pattern that I should use, let me know. Basically, I want to get out of this script-like format. So everything is just a function after the other, and I want to make it a bit cleaner. Okay, let's ask our friend ChatGPT. Okay. To simulate thing. One thing that I also want to keep in mind is that adding design patterns should not really make things more difficult, so I don't want to over-engineer this thing. So let's see what should be done. As after the next code, pipe carries out output of one filter to the input of the next one. Distribution design like design pattern. This will try to force it into a single. Graph structure, nodes processing units with something like one and an output, and then edges directed connection from nodes output to nodes input. Okay, I think the idea of trying to force it into a design pattern is maybe not the best idea. Or better said, it's not really necessary to do it. Huh. Yeah, I feel like I'm over-engineering things. I could also just make them, like as it said, this graph concept. So basically every node, it kind of accepts another node as its next. And basically they would just go from one to the other, like this unidirectional graphs or something. So basically this would be one node, like a starting node, exactly like the workflows, of course. For example, here we also have it. We have this node here. Like this can be one class, like a separate class, and then we say this is the starting point. And for example, after you finish processing, call next node. After finishing processing, create an instance of your next node, and then pass that. But then it also would be the problem, I guess, because I'm creating I think the problem would be almost the same as N8N. Because for example, I say, hey, this is a starting node, and then in the end, create another object, and then call this, and then this object here and then this object here is basically has another node inside of it, and this would also be registered as its next node. And then I will say, after finishing, create a node and then trigger the run command or whatever. But then this would also be again the problem that N8N has. I think it would, like, I would have so many objects. For example, even with these 2 nodes, or like 3 nodes, I would have 3 objects living on my memory, and on a $2 server it's also not a good idea. I just want to, after finishing the processing of a node, then the node should be like basically cleared out by the garbage collector, or like this yeah, the memory should be freed basically. I think there's no garbage collector in Python, but that's the idea. Python's garbage collection is a complex system designed to manage memory automatically. Okay, so Python does have garbage collection. Yeah, so I think this would introduce like basically the same issue that we had in N8N, and we wanted to move from it. I think we would get some benefits, that is concurrent runs, from implementing in Python. But if we go with this architecture, then there's a like the problem would be that there's multiple objects living in our memory, and they're also probably doing nothing, because the process would be finished and then it would just initiate the next node. think what I could do, is that I create an array. And then put the nodes here. Okay, this would be like the orange. Okay, anyway, this would be the orange node, and then here would be green node, for example, and then we basically would just loop over. This is the first node, and then we just loop over these ones, and then we call this, and then we get the result, and then we first we call this with the input config that we are making here, and then we would get the we would get the return values, or like the processed content, and then we would again call this with the content and the processed value of the last one. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I think doing this, of course, if I loop over it, of course these objects are still in memory, but these objects would not have another object inside of them. So I think that's the a good advantage here. There's no recursive or like this one object inside the other. So basically these ones would be eliminated, and then the objects would just be the functions for only that specific node. Okay. At the moment, the steps would be calling this RSS feed, filtering it, and then calling this generate raw content. Okay. I think this would be the thing that might make sense. Okay. So the magic of code. Also, I tried the haiku model today, but not for coding, just chatting, like general, and it was, I think it was not bad. I mean, considering it's really, I think it's small in size, or like it's really fast. It was, at least I thought it would be worse, but it was good. I don't know when does it change, but at the moment I'm really into the Claude models. But we're making more. Hi, nice to have you. Yeah, I shared the link above, and you can also have a look. But then the idea is to create a platform for generating blogs and stuff. Yeah, I also like Grok, yeah. Yeah, true, I also tried it before, it was also nice. I think the problem with Claude is that sometimes it gets too excited. For example, it just puts maybe thousands line of code. And for me, it's sometimes a bit difficult to figure out what is what and like what changes did it make. So I think that's one downside of Claude at the moment. But Grok, yeah, I think it's more chill. So it doesn't really add all of a sudden 200 lines of code, like 500 lines of code. But yeah, basically the project, also thanks for asking, the project would be this blog generation platform that you're having, like we are trying to build. And basically the idea is that you go there, you configure your business, you say my business idea is, I don't know, like a dentist, so like I sell a software for developers or something. You say this is my business, and then every week you would get this content that it's really tailored to your business customers, but the pain point would be to make it not suck at like the content, so like it shouldn't be AI slop. Make the plans using sample 5 and GPT-5 products and Claude. Then has worked out really well. Oh wow, so you basically use like 3 models for implementation. Do you use the cursor, or do you like do it in VS Code or what? Also, I don't know why, but I'm a bit disappointed from GPT recently. I mean, again, this is just my only use case, like only my point of view, but in general, it's been a bit down, I would say. To be honest, I never tried cursor, so maybe I should also try that. But I think the reason that I use VS Code is because GitHub gives these what's the name again? A student pack or something? Yeah. And then the reason that I use VS Code is basically mainly this, and also the reason that I've been like developing on VS Code since forever, probably. But I think this is one of the reasons that I use VS Code at the moment. I'm not sure if Cursor also has it. Okay, then I might try it. Oh wow, crazy. Really nice. So does it really work? Because I see so many people like that did the email, you can get this for 1 2. Ah yeah, okay, perfect. Then I will try it. I mean, I see many people creating their own software, and everyone says, "Hey, I sold my software for, I don't know, 50K, or like I made 100K this monthly revenue or something." And I was also like always had the question, like, is it real or is it just some guru type of thing that people are just saying for getting some viewership or whatever? I don't mean it like not to you, but just the things that I see on YouTube. For me, it's always been the question. Ah, I see. But are you also planning to create your own software, like your own services and so, or not? Oh, really nice. Good luck. Good luck with your stuff. May I ask, what are you planning for marketing? Because I think I'm kind of already, I mean, I heard it before from many people, but I think it's also, I'm now feeling it. Like for the marketing, it's also probably, it's going to be a pain. So what's your experience so far? If you want to share a link, I'm not sure if you can, because I think YouTube would just automatically block it. So maybe you can break down your URL into like maybe 3 or 4 parts and then send it word by word, and then I just attach it and look it up. Yeah, if you have sent it, I didn't receive anything. So there's a chance that YouTube just blocks it. Nice design, by the way. Have you already launched it, or is it like in a pre-launch phase? nice. How long did it take to build this? Because it also looks pretty, like, so much work. Really cool. Nice. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we can connect. I think you can probably find my LinkedIn on my channel. Yeah, yeah, you can find the LinkedIn in the channel, and then you can also send me a request there to connect. Yeah, I would love to. Perfect. Also, I see a couple of people here. If you are interested in like having the same, like watching the same, not the same, but the same topics regarding the like creating your own software, these DevOps topics that comes for managing the server, as I host my website and my services, development, almost like everything all over the place. If you're interested, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, I really would love to see you again. At the moment, I'm aiming for a weekly stream, so hopefully I can see you around again. No, actually, I'm a student in Germany. Ah, perfect. Good to have you. Thank you. Also, just as a curiosity, where are you from? If you're okay with sharing it, of course. Oh wow, really cool. So you're pretty busy. Also, how are the startups going? And are you a developer or mainly like a um, this business side of things? Yeah, really nice. Yeah, sounds really good. think you're using AI probably the most efficient, I would say. I mean, if you're handling 3 like startups, it's really nice. I think at the moment we also, with the current service that we try to build, I think one thing that at least in my idea, is not really working good is the speed of the progress. I think it's really important, the speed of launching your software these days. I mean, of course, you're fighting like many people who basically are dropping so many applications daily. But for us, trying to developing this, I would say it's a bit slow, considering the fact that there are so many tools at the moment for development and stuff. Yeah, so personally, I think I also see many people going way faster. So this is also one thing that I want to change, maybe try to get more productive, but then also for me, trying to figure out these small sections of the software and like try to code it, like solve it myself, it's also fun. I'm not sure if you were here where we were discussing it. I was trying to figure out how to define the classes, how to define the like the design or like the architecture of the nodes and stuff. So this part is also fun for me. But yeah, I think these tools are going crazy. I have to like use them much more. What does eng mean? How do you like? Are you new to coding? No, actually, I've been also coding for quite a lot of time, like even before high school. So it still would be like 10 years or so. But I think I'm a bit slow in like sometimes I feel like a grandpa because I feel so slow in using the technology. For example, my Twitter account, I created it I think 2 months ago or so, or like 1 month ago. So it's also like everywhere so new, and like my YouTube channel also I think it's 1 month or 2 months old. So I'm basically just playing catching up. It feels like I've been living under the rock, but yeah, I'm trying to get out more, like try to share my like the mindset or like the things that I learned. One part, for example, in this YouTube channel. At least that's the goal. Founding AI engineer. Oh, nice. I didn't know that there's a like this term for it. Founding engineer, so basically, if you're a lead engineer at any startup, and usually that startup is AI startup, so it's like founding AI engineer. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, personally on my side, like I've been like just as I said, recently trying this like creating the Twitter account and then looking into these communities of build in public. And then it's also there's so many people like really trying to build their own software and try to sell their own services. And yeah, it's kind of at the same time, it's really nice to see that people are working on the topics that you might also be interested in. But then sometimes also you feel kind of behind because so many people are just doing crazy stuff like coding 5,000 line of code per day using these tools, and it's a bit like discouraging. But yeah, I mean, this is also the thing that I just got into, like creating my own software and stuff. But I'm really optimistic. At least I'm sure that I would learn many things, and I also try to share it, for example, here on my YouTube channel, what I learn and what I do. But yeah, it's interesting times, I would say. Oh wow, 20K code. Oh wow. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I should, to be honest, yeah, try to get to work with Cursor a bit more. Yeah, I know people doing crazy stuff, and yeah, I really feel slow, like a turtle. Yeah, really nice. Okay, yeah, I will check it out definitely. But what do you think the problem is? Like, if you are able to create applications like that, do you think the bottleneck would be like the problems that you had? Do you think, or was it mainly marketing? Was it finding, I don't know, customers, finding funding, or like in your experience, what do you think the bottleneck is? I mean, probably development is not really the bottleneck anymore because, as you can see, like one person can write 20,000 lines of code per day, for example. Uh, so basically, the AI slop would also lurk into your development. Hmm. Yeah, makes sense. But then that's also the idea evaluation, right? And what do you guys do for that? Like, do you have any tips? Um, yeah, I mean, for me, the as you said, the idea evaluation, or like validating, basically people would pay for what you are making to validate your idea. Do you have any tips on that? Like, how would you make sure that your idea is good and then go to the development? And how do you deal with it? Don't focus on the visual part, make the backend up and working, put a simple UI post, post it in subreddits, etc. So people are using it. Get some feedback, make the changes. Yeah, I think I have to. I mean, I tried to post it on some subreddits. I mean, at the moment, our product, like, it's not ready, which I think is something that we should already at least have a beta version. But yeah, I think for Reddit, it's also a bit tricky. At least the 2 times that I tried, it was funny. Like, the first time, the post was removed by the moderator, and the second one, there was also only one person showing interest, like, had a look at it. But I know it's definitely not easy, I would say. But yeah, thanks for the tip. I also heard that many people, yeah, do the same, like, post it on Reddit. And I don't know, are you also active on Twitter? Did that help for you? I mean, personally, on my side, it's really crazy. Like, this idea of creating my own software and trying to put myself out there has changed my perspective from many of these platforms. For example, I wouldn't use Twitter 1 year ago, which I did not. And just the idea to trying to get myself out there and try to kind of promote myself. I mean, not in a cringe way, just to, like, giving people the information, like what I do, these sort of things. This really changed my perspective from at least Twitter, for example. It's a good good place to build a community and, like, build an audience. So I'm really trying to focus on that. Not sure if it pays off in the end, but that's what I'm focusing on a little bit at the moment. That's also a smart way. Yeah, it's a good idea, actually. But do you also use any what should I say, like monitoring tools or anything, or just is it you going on Reddit and like reading stuff? Is my music? Create an outreach and Intel app. What do you mean? How do you do that? I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. But then Reddit is a pretty big place, I would say. How do you, let's say, find where to look? By the way, I really appreciate you sharing the information and discussing these things. I mean, to be honest, this was a really informative stream, at least for me. Thanks for that. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, good to know. I think at the moment is there was a couple of them, like this automation marketing and this entrepreneur subreddit. I mean, there was a couple of them that I just looked at. Yeah, there's also indie hackers, automated marketing. But then for me, the problem is I'm not really sure. For example, let's say I want to build something for small businesses. I mean, I probably will find them in Entrepreneur, maybe Entrepreneur Ride Along. Yeah, I feel like it's really too broad. For example, this Entrepreneur subreddit, it has how many people? I don't know, like yeah, almost 500,000 people, which is crazy. But then also it's really, I would say, really not specific. Filter by month and top voted. Make a list. So post is most uploads. Build quick and shit. You can use the post if you launch. Yeah, it's super smart, I would say. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll also have a look at it. But there's also so many random stuff. Yeah, it's Reddit. Okay, yeah, but really good ideas. Thanks for that. Okay, and let's see what Grok has been cooking. Okay. Booking our plugin should provide passes. State Also, just a quick note, if you have joined today's stream recently, welcome. And also, I'm planning to do the same sort of stream every week. So either on Friday or on Saturday, I will stream. So please hit the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And also, I hope to see you again next time. I mean, one thing again, it's a bit, it's not for me, not solved yet. This huge amount of dropped AI code, for example, now it's like many changes. Yeah, I haven't really. Sometimes I get confused and like. Can't figure out things. I mean, the changes would be too much, basically. So far, I think it's okay. But but I don't know how people do it. I mean, when you say they develop, I don't know, 10,000 lines of code, I think my record was 3,000. I mean, it's funny. I was also so happy about it. I think I just also tweeted something regarding that. Yeah, this one. This one? Nope. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I was so happy that I like Claude did 3,000 lines of code for me. But yeah, for me, it's still a bit confusing. Like those people that write 10,000 lines of code with AI. I mean, do they even um, like develop it, or like do they even understand what's going on, or it's just AI? Yeah. Okay. What do you have here? Oh, wow, it removed my settings object that I had here. There's an yeah, good. Um, Git restore. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, I'll be right back. Enjoy grok coding. I had to hit the jump. All right, second try. Okay. Created a RSS feature. Run. Input data. Okay. I thought the creation of these classes makes things a bit easier and more understandable, but it's a bit more confusing. Okay. So this picture is okay. To be honest, it's again confusing. Okay, let me first. We have a prompt. Okay, I think part of my confusion now is my prompts are getting a bit crazy. Let's say remove the prompts from start generation to templates and put the templates in conflict UI and okay, let's bring out clothes. Let's see. feeling I'm dealing with a bit of AI slop. I don't know if I like make mistakes in explaining things, but the output and the changes are a bit confusing for me. So let's take it one step at a time. Let's see. Let's first clear out the prompts, because the prompts are really messy here. And we hopefully can then move to the next step and cleaning things out. Okay, oof. Changes made, stem prompt was filtering, prompt template, and prompts we have. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, much better. Let me also try to do a test run. Okay, name business descriptions. So this we should say. Okay, make it settings business description. Also audience description. This one should be okay. Now let's see. What do we have? Keyword or audience? Yeah. Okay. Settings, business, and then the description, and then the audience. So this would be business, and this would be audience. The business description, business audience. Okay, then also this would be okay. Let's run the workflow, see if it managed to move around the prompts. Okay, so far good. Okay, in the meantime, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here for the first time, I would highly appreciate if you subscribe in return of you getting weekly streams either on Friday or Saturday, and I explain the stuff. I try to work to build my service or product, and you can also see the changes, you can see the progress, and also if you have any questions, let me know. I'm also a beginner, and there are things that I'm learning, like about everything, like even development, marketing, the whole idea around it. So feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, I really appreciate it, and also stay tuned for next week. I will run the workflow now, and then I mean, I kind of want to bring the stream to the conclusion, but also there are 8 people watching, and I really appreciate it, and it's really hard to let go. So I will just keep working a bit more. Let's see what do we have here. Join the macros. Also, if you are working on any projects or anything, like if you're learning stuff, learning to code, learning different ideas, different topics, also drop it in the chat. I'm really curious to see what you guys like, what type of audience I have. Okay, so there was a problem, error generator bug, comma, delimited column, to generate bug post. Okay, so we had the error, not the first time. So I think okay, so this was generated now. Let me check if this was generated now. Outputs, and then no. This is the context for your development. Okay, so high volume data, high volume ideas. Okay, so we managed to come to this point, and then let me just visualize this quick. Okay. Okay. Expecting comma delimiter line 4. I mean, if it's like some problem with JSON output, I would be sad, because I mean, at this point they should be able to output JSON easily. Okay, let's see. Breakfast failed to generate breakfast. Okay, so we reached this point, no problem. But then we tried to, of course, generate some bubbles. And then okay, so we are having an error here. And okay, so yes, probably somewhere here. I think this JSON, I think I also had the problem before, but okay, let me check. I quickly checked my API key for the which model I'm using. And I learned my lessons from previous streams. I mean, in one of the streams I leaked my API key, I think 2 or 3 times. So anyway, so at the moment we're using Gemini, but I'm guessing that sometimes, for example, it says here's the output and then prints out the JSON and everything is fine, but then in the end it also says I successfully created your blog post, blah blah blah. So it's like an explanation, and then here there would be a problem. Okay, let me try something. Let's okay, just creating a quick case study. Let's say that we have this would be the result of the model, for example, JSON \n and then test and then I and then close and then again \n and then these things. Okay. So use single comma here. You should be fine. Okay. So yeah, so this is basically like a formatted JSON, the way that the model would return the response. And now let's adjust it again. So for example, after the JSON, it says, here is your blog. Oops. It closes the JSON and then says, here is your blog. And then if I print it, okay, so sometimes even though I say to generate JSON, please, it doesn't. And sometimes it says, for example, some random stuff afterwards. For example, I looked at these topics, this is your blog, blah, blah, blah. So, and then here I try to crop it. I say if the content starts with JSON and it ends with this. But then if the response is in this format, then it does not end with 3 back quotes. What do they call this? I don't know, these characters that I don't know the name. And then it says it does not end with that, so it just doesn't crop the text. I just want the JSON chunk. And sometimes because there is some stuff afterwards, it doesn't get cleaned. So instead we could say okay, if I say x dot split with this thing, and then I have JSON x/n. I think I can split it and say I want everything except the last one. And then join these things. And also there's JSON. I think this is the really bad way that I'm doing it. Okay, so if I have an output like this, and if I use this, then I will only get the JSON part. If I have a output like this, like pure JSON, and if I again use this, I would still get the JSON. Okay, then I think this works, but it's super shady, like really not the best practice, I would say. But content also, okay, so basically and then try to okay, perfect. Now running the workflow again. I mean, it would be funny if it was not the reason of the error. Okay. All right, let's see. I think if now the workflow runs okay, then the prompt refactoring, basically moving everything here, was done successfully, and we'll move to the next step, which would be refactoring of this enormous, ugly file. Okay, still waiting. Okay, so I think no errors, right? Okay, we still don't know. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so I think no error. Successfully written. So also I use the free version of, for example, for development, I use the free version of Gemini, and just to see if things are working properly or not. So I had to also add this rate limiting, the 60 seconds of cooldown, basically. So we got the, okay, so the problem was fixed. Nice. And now we have our generated blocks, for example, here. How to create original authoritative content with AI. A specialist's guide. So a specialist can leverage and discover strategy to overcome AI slump and boost digital authority. Okay, so we got our blog, and then we also commit stuff here. Let me do it here. Okay, Okay. What's next? Okay, now I want to also ask you to refactor things. What's that? Automation. And nobody just 7 separate class. Each class should have its own function. One function. So basically, output and plus this thing. Okay. Let's try to refactor. I mean, I use this studio audio library for my songs because it's not basically YouTube provides it and it's not copyrighted, so basically you can enjoy it during the streams. And to be honest, sometimes there are some banger music here and there. Okay. Code. Okay, refactor the block generation pipeline to 3 modular classes with uniform. Does it use settings? Okay, I think this time it's done a good job. Let's again test. Whoops. I can't import as a feed from. What? From source information. And then entity one. Yeah. Okay, now what? Switching analysis, which was successfully filter analysis speed. Okay, so now also we did the clearing with the I haven't done this found. Okay. It's funny, I thought that I added another mechanism for this filtering the ideas. Okay, one second, let me check. Okay. Yeah, here. This one, like, pick only the highest volume data, and then I filter this with this mapping and everything. But I don't have it here now. Blog ideas. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay, and because I think during the one downside of vibe coding, you can see. Okay. Try again. Okay, so just completely. Mm-hmm. What I did. search volume estimate. Search intent, search volume estimate. Medium. Search intent. I mean, again, I don't know where did I probably did something that I shouldn't have done, but some of my code my changes from previous, it's not here. Another example now. Also, in one of the Git commits, you can see that, for example, I changed this IDX, like index and idea, into just idea. And then, for example, I removed printing index. But now here in my code, I still have it. So I don't know what happened. But yeah. Okay. Okay. Hopefully now we can run. Okay, I think you should now be able to run it. Also, next week, either Friday or Saturday. Probably I go for Friday, but let's see. I mean, something might happen, but yeah, Friday I'll probably work on getting really rid of this NHN workflow that we're having at the moment. Might also work a bit on it before Friday. So, but I will have a stream on Friday or like Friday or Saturday. I also looking forward to seeing you again. I think at the moment the workflow would run, let's hope, and the rest would be for the next week. Rate limiting. Yeah, in the end it was a bit crazy for me, like some of my codes, some of the changes that I've done previously on previous commits, like they were again reverted when I, for example, used Claude. I mean, I probably clicked somewhere, something went wrong or whatever, but yeah, it was strange. Anyway, the pipeline completed, one blog post created, and then you also can see that we have our blog post. How to create original alternative. it also removed the right. Yeah, it also removed writing the blog. Bro. What's happening? Okay. Yeah, so now the workflow is also running. Also, I would say it's more clean now, like regarding the classes and having this idea of nodes running one after the other. For example, we just define 3 nodes here, and then we just run them one by one. And basically, this also gives the idea of workflow. We have done a lot of stuff, I would say, in this stream. Thank you so much. Please, again, I really appreciate your support. Like, subscribe if you found this stream useful, and if you want to stay tuned for the coming up videos and streams again. Highly appreciate it. Have a good night. Have a good day. I will stay around a bit if you have questions or any random thoughts, any feedbacks or anything. Highly appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And it's really interesting times. I mean, I hope you also get motivated, building your software, try to think of your software maybe in a new way, that, okay, what if I want to make this a business? What if this could be sold to people? What if people can actually use this software or anything else? These are the questions that I'm thinking at the moment regarding the marketing, regarding this sort of fundamental questioning. And if you're interested, you can ask me next time or anytime. And I also share stuff like this. I'm planning to get more into this business type of aspect of things. But also I will share some technical stuff like Docker tutorials and how to manage your server, DevOps ideas, these sort of things, all over the place. So be sure to hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. I wish you a good night, a good day. Enjoy your time, and hopefully I will see you next time again. Thank you. Hi, you're a bit late to the party, but the whole idea is to create, let me show you, no worries. Okay, so we have this, we want to create this platform that people can come say, hey, this is my business, generate me blogs. So that's the whole idea, keeping their blog part of their website or their platform busy. So basically we are trying to create this platform, private kernel, and you can also check out the website. There is this description of the topics and then what we are having in mind to build. And this is the thing that we try to build now. So this is the product. And here every Friday or Saturday every week, we come here, we try to have a chill coding. And there's also, for example, today there was this viewer, Aman, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he also shared his insights regarding some business aspects, how to find ideas, and it was really interesting discussion. And this also gives me more motivation for the next time. And if you're interested, please hit the subscribe, and hopefully I will see you again next week. I will share my like findings, what I've learned, and also during the streams, of course, I will share the progress, and you can also see me code, or you can also feel free. You can ask questions, like have a discussion about anything, basically. But yeah, that's the idea, and we hope to learn a lot of stuff with creating this platform. It's interesting times. Okay, sadly, I have to end the stream. But it was, to be honest, it was one of the most fun streams, I would say. I mean, there was really pretty good discussions, really interesting, and also really looking forward to knowing you, your interests, your ideas and stuff. And I think this is a really good way to collaborate. I think, let alone in this stream, as I said, there was this guy that was sharing his ideas and business and stuff. It was really nice. But in any case, hit the subscribe button. Every week I stream. I have many videos laying around when I have to get them from my editor. I will also share stuff like DevOps, some tutorials, some ideas, hopefully in this business direction. So please hit the like, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you have learned something, please show your support. I really appreciate it. And I hope that I see you again next week. So take care, have a good day, have a good night, and see you.